Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and today we're going to talk about YouTube games deserving of a sequel genre rant video, pretty much. So the first game I have come up with is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and the reason why I come up with Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is because Raiden has been around since the beginning of the series. We're talking about like way from the start. We're talking about Solid Snake way from the start. He was the original character that started without arms. He was seen in one fight fighting geckos, and he pretty much laid it on them. He was also full of badassery when he first got his first cyborg armor. Eventually, when he became into converted into his own series, he lost an arm again. Quote the name again by him. Hence the name. Hence the word again. Eventually, Raiden has been around since the original Metal Gear titles, covering a small portion of his story and his parents respectively. Then in the future, he finds himself in a cyborg body fighting off hordes of enemies that basically want to take him down. We talk about Mystrial, Deathstream Sam, Wolfie, which eventually becomes a part of his team because he decides to save, and he knew that he wasn't given a choice when choosing between bad and good, and his intellect was not programmed to fight and or to defend. His program was basically made to take commands from people, not to actually fight other enemies. So he took a charge of Wolfie, and Wolfie became one of his helpers eventually in the series, help him find things. But overall, he was meant to stay out of his fights. Raiden eventually loses his mind at these fights Monsoon, and he becomes Jack the Ripper for a while. And he hates those memories because he wasn't exactly himself during that time. He was actually evil. So eventually he joined a group that was owned by Snake himself, and was owned by Snake himself to correct all his wrongs by falling in love with a girl who actually was part of the Patriots. Eventually, he found out and he didn't like the idea, but then he came back and he hugged her. He got her pregnant and he had a child with her, and then he got married eventually. The woman's name is Rose, which is later on revealed which later on is revealed in Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Raiden is known as a very strong character. He can lift 10 times his weight. He could live Metal Gears. He could rip off the blades from a Metal Gear and use it as a normal sword like he would use his and slice them apart. Eventually, he fought the leader of the Patriots, the secondary leader of the Patriots, who was scheduled to become the president. He then defeats him, stabs him right through the sword with the Muramasa blade, which originally belonged to Jetstream Sam, one of the characters that he has a long conflicting past with. He finally defeats him and he grabs his sword. In the end, we see this heartfelt speech by Jetstream Sam saying, when that light turns green, then you can take out the sword and use it. He did use the sword and he gave the shift to Wolfie. Wolfie held the shift, and once he defeated this guy who was scheduled to become a president as a patriot and pretty much send the world into hell with war, he basically finally sends the world to an era of peace. And then he takes the sword, and you hear Jetstream Sam talking in the background through a recording that Raiden recorded in the past. And he basically says, once that light turns red, you can no longer think. It will be locked permanently. However, Raiden finds a way to keep it unlocked for the entire time, and he begins to use the sword, of course. Knowing that him, although frenemies, they were able to be coming to terms at the end after Raiden defeated him. Something Raiden was not comfortable with at the end of the day, and which got him angry. He once stated what he had to do. Wolfie comes back to him with the airport, the airbase, and he finds himself basically, happy about making his decisions. He's gonna go back, visit his wife. And although he was done, the truth is he weren't shown much afterwards. It actually kind of left off in a weird cliffhanger because it looked like he was really getting ready for another mission at the end of the day, over actually going back home and visiting his family. And really, I gotta say, for a Metal Gear game, it had a pretty great ending. But all it was in that, I truly believe, according to the rest of its fan base, that Metal Gear is deserving of a second game. A game that's more epic than the first one, guarantee it will be. The second one on our list is The Evil Within, full of jump scares and gore. If gore is not your thing, you should probably stay away from it. So basically, you get chased by this guy with a chainsaw in the beginning, who is basically a twin that was later on revealed, and they were growing at a massive pace. These twins pretty much eat human bodies. Yeah, yuck. And if you get caught by them, they will chainsaw you in half and smash your head at the same time, and that's a lot of blood. This game pretty much revolves around the idea that you're in this guy's mind named Ruvik. This guy does not like the idea of you being in his mind, so he's gonna try and shoot you, kill you, whatever he can by using traps or using his own self-consciousness by blaming you for his girl being burned at the stake. But we all know it's not true. But then eventually, when the game ends, we see Kidman controlling Sebastian through these thoughts, and also she's the one mainly responsible for the reason why Sebastian is there. Eventually, Sebastian breaks out of the dream and he wakes up and he takes everything off, and he sees Kidman, and then he says, "Wait." And then Kidman tries to kill him, but he takes out the gun away from her, shooting her and injuring her instead. She manages to escape, leaving the game in a huge cliffhanger. Number two, Splinter Cell. Blacklist. In the beginning, we see that he doesn't get along with the group of people he would been paired with, especially with one of the female characters that were in the game. He does not want, forgot her name, but he doesn't want her to be in his flight, nor Fort Echelon, more known as Fort Echelon, the old president's, airplane. It's kind of called Fort Echelon, is used for missions. They were pretty much told not to go on a mission. They refused the order of the president and they just went to the mission anyways, causing them to get in trouble. However, the reason why Sam is actually angry with this group is literally unknown. So hopefully in the second game we get more of an explanation as to why he doesn't get along with this group. But eventually at the end he gets a change of heart when one of his peers gets hurt, and later on you see him taking care of him. But they were left on a cliffhanger. Why? Because at the end they said they don't know the name of the heroes and their names were never revealed in the game. And then it was actually explained as to why their names were actually revealed in the game, and they never get to actually reveal their name as to why they actually rescued the country. And the truth is that's pretty sour, bittersweet, because you saved the world and nobody knows who actually did it. You just this anonymous guy nobody knows, and that sucks. Basically it looks like we're getting ready for a following mission that we're going to go on to. So hopefully we get that. We hope we get a second game based on Splinter Cell Blacklist of what is this mission they're going to go to next. And I'm pretty much telling you it's probably going to be somewhere in South America, because they go everywhere in the world. Alright, let's see. What other game we have here? We have here Alien Isolation. Although it was a game that came with previous sequels before, with the new character in as a woman. Hopefully we continue that tradition with this female character, and she now becomes the badass character of the game. She has shown a lot of resolve throughout the game, and she tries to save a few of her friends, but at the end of the day it turns out that she's the only survivor. She manages to escape. Mind you, she is with one more guy, and that guy gets killed by the alien, and is a xenomorph. Sweet, right? A xenomorph. And it's also ruled by jump scares. So hopefully this game gets a continuation as well with the female character, because it adds more of an interesting background, because she's looking for her mother. What is better than a game that's based off of a story of a son or daughter looking for their mother that hasn't returned back home after 4 years? So basically that's all I have for you today, and hopefully you guys enjoy yourselves on this Thanksgiving week. So don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. I will be bringing you more information as we review 2015 as a whole in the video game dimension. Thank you very much for watching this video, and stay safe.